These are 2 pieces of amethyst, which I picked up in Brazil long time ago, a couple decades ago, when I used to go to the gem district, or I guess state, Minas general mining state, and to a town called Teflo, where they used to have, and probably still do, an annual gem show. And I picked up quite a bit of amethyst rough there, and decades worth. And I'm slowly dwindling that down. I don't have a whole lot left, but I'm going to cut these 2 pieces. If anyone knows if the annual show still goes on in Teflo, let me know. You know what? I've been thinking of selling off the remainder of this old parcel of amethyst for a while now. I got a really, really good price on it almost about 2 decades ago, and I imported it direct from Brazil. So I'm thinking about just selling it off to maybe help out some new cutters. So I'll price it very, very low. I bought kilos of amethyst, aquamarine, and tourmaline all those years ago at the source in Brazil. And at that time, I got a very, very good price. I'm sure I can price the remainder of this amethyst lot at a very, very good price, 20-year-old pricing. And I can break it into smaller pieces so you don't have to buy the whole remaining lot. So that's what I'm going to do. One weighs out about 36.994, 95 carats. And the second weighs in at 33.662 carats. Okay, here's our original Refractol by Babalu Rocks. And Refractol, this liquid, has the same refractive index about as quartz, so it will make our gemstone kind of make the outside of it look smooth, and we'll be able to peer into our gemstone and see what we have inside. So I see some inclusions near the surface. There are some, maybe 1 or 2 inclusions into the stone, not much. And I don't see any color zoning. It's a nice even color. So I think this stone will work. Let me take a look at the other stone. Okay, for this gemstone, I see a little bit of inclusions, but near the surface. A little zoning, but I think our design will account for that, and won't be any problem with the final gemstone. I think it'll be a nice purple, beautiful color with the final gemstone. I think I can orient it right. Let me show you a sampling of the other amethyst from this same old lot from Brazil. I'm putting some stones here in Refractol so that you can see into the stone and judge this amethyst for yourself. I see some inclusions at or near the surface, and in some there's some zoning that you're going to have to orient the stone when you cut it so that the final gemstone gets flooded with this vivid purple color. But this is what the amethyst looks like. I've been cutting it for years, and I've enjoyed cutting it. So take a look. Let me grab 3 more pieces and show you another sample. Again, this is all from the same lot. It's all the same quality, and it's the same lot that I'm using to cut these 2 stones that I'm cutting today. So you judge for yourself if you're interested in this lot. I'll break it into very small parcels of 3 stones, maybe a couple with 4 stones, so you don't have to buy it by the kilogram like I did. I'll take care of shipping. I'm sorry, US only, because I'm going to price this lot so low that it would be quite expensive to ship it to other countries. So for the US, I'll pay shipping, tracking number, insurance, and if you don't like it, I'll pay the return shipping. But I think you're going to like this deal. Okay, so I've distributed about as equally as I could all of my remaining, of this remaining lot, a parcel from Brazil, into small packets, about 3 stones per bag. There's a couple of bags with 4 pieces of rough. Most everything's over 70 carats per bag. There's a few bags, a handful of bags that are over 80 carats. So again, it's all from the same lot. So I'm going to sell it at $25 per bag. Again, US only. I'll pay the postage, handling, tracking number, insurance. Unfortunately, if I was to ship overseas, the postage cost would be more than the cost of a bag, so I can't do that. So if you want it, you need to send me a PM, a private message on my Facebook page, Mike Sackos, if you'd like to purchase a bag of this amethyst rough. Each bag is over 70 carats, as I said. If you want a second bag, the second bag I'll let you have for $20, so $45 for the 2 bags. If you want a third bag, try again. I'll get you the third bag for $15, total of $60 for all 3 bags. And if you don't like the rough, contact me, send it back using the same method I sent it to you, and I'll refund you everything you paid, and I'll even refund the return postage, so you can't really lose. Okay, on with cutting the 2 gemstones for BOPIE. For these stones, I'll use the late Jeff Graham's simple Portuguese design and cut these pieces of amethyst. I showed you all in a previous video how to go back in time in the internet, because the internet never forgets, and access Jeff's old website, where he put about 24 of his most popular gem cutting diagrams onto the public domain for all cutters to use. When you go to that site, you can also read all of Jeff's articles about gem cutting. He wrote quite a few articles and a lot of valuable information there. All right, so I used my dark side lap for the first time in a very long time, and cerium oxide bat stick from Gearloose, and it polished it right up. The reason I used my dark side is I haven't used it in a while, and it's just wanted to make sure I've got the technique right for it. For this stone, it seemed like I needed a steady drip, not too slow of a drip of water or it would scratch. But with a steady drip, it was fine, and I could run this a little faster than I normally do on polish. Maybe 400 RPM is no problem. So with that information from my dark side, I'm ready to transfer the stone and cut the upper half. Okay, for the second gemstone, I've gone over everything with my 600K diamond topper lap. And now I'm going to go over it with 3000 grit diamond on a bat lap, and I got it just the right width, and I couldn't make it any bigger. There's one spot right there where I couldn't make it any bigger. It's just barely got that inclusion out of the way enough to make a girdle. And I do have to make it a little bit smaller, little bit. With my 3000 grit diamond, it's going to make it a teeny bit smaller, but it's just right. Everything worked out just perfectly with this stone so far. So now I'll use the 3000 grit diamond on a bat lap. Okay, I finished polishing the upper half, or the bottom half, the pavilion of our amethyst. And I used the dark side lap, which I haven't used in a while. And the more I'm using it, the more comfortable I'm getting with it and the quicker things are going. And for me, it's good to pull a lap out of inventory, out of the toolbox, and use it every once in a while. So now I'll transfer this stone and I'll cut the upper halves of both of our amethyst gemstones. So every so often I pick up a few more DOPs when they're available, and it seems like every year Wyatt Yeager creates some DOPs, seems like every year. Now his are for the Gem Master, which is not the Ultratech, so his DOPs are a little bit longer than the Ultratech, but they fit in the Ultratech machine. Wyatt's are kind of keyed differently, but that's not a problem. It still fits in the Ultratech, not a problem at all. And I think being a little longer might be a little bit more of an advantage, because I can reach a little further into the lap when I'm working on the girdle. I don't know for sure if it's a bad thing or good thing, or not an issue at all. I suspect it's either not an issue at all or a good thing. I can't imagine it being a bad thing. But I will take one of Wyatt's DOPs, and I'll use it in one of the 2 stones when I transfer and cut the upper half. As I mentioned, Wyatt made these DOPs for the Gem Master 2. And this is what his Facebook page looks like. So if you want to reach out to Wyatt to discuss anything related to the Gem Master or any gem cutting machine, he knows quite a bit. Wyatt is the manufacturer of the Gem Master 2 gem cutting machine. Now, I personally have only owned and used the Ultratech. I have no complaints with the Ultratech, and I really can't speak to the Gem Master other than to tell you that I do know other gem cutters who use the Gem Master and are very happy with this machine. Now for the announcement. So as I was talking to Wyatt about the DOPS, come to find out, he's this February, the first of Wyatt's new Facet Gem Master 3 machines will roll off the old assembly line. Although I don't think they have an assembly line cranking them out that quickly, but they are creating the Gem Master 3. So February, Gem Master 3, brand new machine from Wyatt. He told me as far as looks go, the Gem Master 3 will look a lot like the Gem Master 2. So stay tuned for the new Gem Master 3. And for those of you who do know Wyatt, he's pretty well known in the gem cutting community. You'll also know that he recently bought the Facetron company from the Jarvie family, and he's been producing the Facetron since June of this year. That includes machines, parts, and service. So those of you who cut with and love your old Facetron, you're probably already familiar with Wyatt. This last year I did go to a gem rough buying trip to Kenya and Tanzania, and I saw quite a few old Facetrons over there. They seem to be holding up very well for the gem cutting school, at least the school I saw in Tanzania. So I still have to cut the table, but everything else is polished up, and we're ready to go ahead and cut the upper part of our second gemstone. Finished polishing both of our amethysts, so now I'll soak them both in the acetone to remove them from the DOP, and then we'll weigh them, measure them, and send them off to BOPIE. Well, I'm afraid I packed quite a bit into this video, so I cut 2 pieces of amethyst into a Portuguese design for BOPIE, and I decided to go ahead and sell off at a great price for new cutters the entire remainder of what had been a rather large parcel of amethyst, which included these 2 pieces that I finished today. I purchased them decades ago, imported them directly from Brazil. I also pulled out my dark side lap when I was faceting these 2 amethysts. Hadn't used that in a while. I just wanted to stay proficient with all my laps, so I had no problem polishing both of these gemstones using cerium oxide on my dark side lap. Generally, I had been using cerium oxide on a tin lap to polish amethyst, but today I used my dark side with absolutely no problems. And I did recently pick up a few new DOPs from Wyatt, and I learned that his Gem Master 3 will be coming out in just a couple of months. By the way, his DOPs work fine in my Ultratech machine, but I do not recommend new cutters to buy extra DOPs when you're purchasing your machine, your equipment, and everything to get started in cutting. All the machines that you purchase, every brand that I've ever seen, comes with an accessory pack that includes the basic DOPs that you're going to need. Just buy that. Don't spend money on extra DOPs starting out. You're going to need, you should be spending the most of your money on is the best machine that you can buy, and then the laps, the other equipment, and then worry about even rough. Just buy single pieces of rough. So don't spend all your money on extra DOPs at first. You don't need them. Again, this large parcel of amethyst that I have had for decades now, been cutting off of slowly. I have divided the remainder of that old parcel into 3 or 4 stone parcels, small enough for a new cutter just to have 3 or 4 stones to cut. Each parcel weighs over 70 carats, some are over 80, and every piece of rough weighs between 15 and 30 carats. So again, if you would like any of this rough, contact me, Mike Sackos, on Facebook with a PM. Don't contact me here. It's really hard in YouTube to carry on a conversation with the comments. So go to Facebook, PM me there. Again, the prices are going to be $25 for one bag. If you want a second bag, the second bag, $20. If you want a third bag, the third bag is $15. I'll pay the handling and postage. I'll ship it by USPS with a tracking number and insurance. Unfortunately, US only, because selling a bag overseas, I'd spend more on postage than what I'm charging you for the bag. Sorry, I just wanted to make the prices as low as possible, and that's the only way I can do it. Well, again, I think I packed a bit too much into this video. Again, please let me know in the comments what you think of the 2 gemstones that I cut and of this design. And as always, happy fasting, everyone.